for Monday morning. So y'all ready? Let's go. A lot's been going on. NBA, some talking the NFL, but the NBA is where it's at. NHL is starting their Scandi Puff playoffs. The MLB is live in effect. This is a big week for boxing as we got Garcia versus Gervonta Davis. Ryan Garcia, Gervonta Davis. A lot to talk about. Y'all know what it is. First formation. Let's go.
Hard work, hard work, hard work, hard work, hard work, work. There you go.
Forward!
Hard work, hard work, hard work, hard work, hard work, work. There you go.
Forward!
Hard work, hard work, hard work, hard work, hard work, work. There you go.
Forward!
Hard work, hard work, hard work.
Fall in.
What's going on, high speeds out there? You know what it is. It's me, your boy Trey. And y'all rocking with your favorite vets in the next First Formation Morning Sports Talk. Y'all know the sounds fall in when we getting into talking about what's been going on in sports over the last couple of days. But today, of course, we got some special guests on tapping in with us this morning. First Formation, of course, Coach Pert, Coach Miller represent. I'm gonna let them tell you about what's been going on, hence the reason why they're on this morning. What's good with you, gentlemen? How you going?
Doing good, man. Doing good.
Good. Woke up a champion this morning.
That's the energy I'm talking about. Tell say it with your chest, Coach Perk. Tell us what's going on, man. When you say you woke up a champion this morning, what exactly are you talking about?
CMAC champions out of Herbert Field. Was a player for about eight, 9 seasons. It's my first year coaching. Had a great squad this year. Big things. Went out and did what we were supposed to do yesterday. So woke up a champion, fulfilled. Then we got our eyes on the big prize now.
What big prize might that be you be talking about there, sir?
Oh, that national championship.
National. Okay. Hey, Coach Miller, what's your reason for the season?
So yeah, we went down to the Central Conference Tournament, won that. Getting ready for Nationals and the NBA Finals. That's funny. Our first match versus Nationals is actually sitting right in front of me.
That's what up. Let's
good,
go.
you know? Just good. Go down this weekend. It was a long weekend. But yeah, I went down there and handled business, did what we were supposed to do.
So who actually did y'all end up facing in the championship? Was y'all basically play tournament style, of course, like that. So who did y'all face throughout y'all tournament in your respective in your conferences?
So for pool play, we had Offutt, Nebraska. And we hadn't seen them all season, so we didn't really know much about them. And then to close out our pool play, we had Fort Sam Houston. So won both those games. Then we're sitting in the quarterfinals, kind of waiting to see who we're going to play out of the play-in games. And we ended up getting Scott Air Force Base, which we had seen them before, but they're tough. Definitely want to, send prayers out to one of their players, had an injury. Very unfortunate. That kind of changed the game. He's a big part of what they were doing. So, I don't know his name, but speedy recovery to him. And then after that, we played Tinker Air Force Base out of Oklahoma. It was close at first. Had a lot of delays starting that game. Then unfortunately, we had an injury, a big injury to one of our players towards Achilles. One of our older players, Toby. So definitely prayers and speedy recovery for him as well. And then in the championship, we actually got Fort Riley. We thought we were kind of on a collision course with Cannon Air Force Base all season. But Fort Riley is a very tough team. They got a lot of great shooters over there, and they surprised a lot of people. And so we ended up playing them in the championship game. So.
Okay. Well, how did it go down in the CMAC there, Coach Pert?
We faced Maxwell Air Force Base first. Of course, they're in our conference. We played them in the regular season. Then we played Moody. Then right after that, I believe, Mayport. We faced them about 4 times this year. That was our 4th time, and we won each one. But those games with Mayport are like dog fights every time. It's always like a 3-point game, 4-point game. Coach June over there, he's doing a great job. They got a great squad, but I hate going against them, even though we've been getting the better of them. But it's such a dog fight. And then we got Egwin, in town rival.
Mm-hmm.
Those games are always competitive, no matter what. But my team, we locked in on defense, rebounding, and just win position battle the whole game, and then it just showed.
Mm. And so, like you said, for the both of y'all, like you just pointed out, like for you, Coach Miller, you stated how y'all had not seen a team initially, and here you are playing against them. And then for you, Coach Pert, you talked about Coach Miller said the same thing. The teams in which you've seen, you take into consideration, okay, we've beaten them, of course, like that, but of course you can't get complacent. But take us down that what it looks like, or the mind process of when you basically face a team that you've seen before and you've beaten them before, and how do you avoid your players from getting complacent and fall into that mindset of we've been here, done that?
Right. So, like with that, like with Mayport, you might see a new guy or two new guys maybe, but going into those games, every possession counts. So I kind of instill every possession counts. You can't get those back. And then, basketball's a game of runs. They might get on a run. We might have a run, but you have to stay on the gas. You can't let up. When those kind of games, you let up in either way, it can get carried away, especially how talented they are and how talented we are. So it's just a mental game. You have to stay locked in all 40 minutes.
Okay. Coach Miller, for you?
For us, I think it's just like what I stressed to us was it was just about playing our game, doing what we do, on a day-to-day basis, playing our style of basketball. With Fort Riley in the championship, when we played them at their house in Kansas, they had a guard, number one, came out. Both games we played them, hit 3 straight threes to start the game, And so now coming into this game, I think they surprised a lot of the other teams, but I wasn't surprised by it because I knew they could shoot the ball. So, we went a little smaller than what we would normally start the game, and I put more guards out there. And we just really pushed up on them on defense and took their jumpers away, made it uncomfortable for them to shoot because we knew that if they got hot, even though we should win that game, that they could steal one from us, and so it was just constant stress and just keep playing our game, and it worked out for us. We ended up pulling away, in the second half of that game, into the first half, second half, and was able to blow it open but the first quarter, they were giving us, I think that was the first quarter. That was the only quarter that, we kind of lost in the whole tournament was the first quarter of the championship. And so luckily, the guys really responded. And we were able to get back to playing our basketball and lock in defensively on them.
Okay, so here you, Coach, you have Woon that has a comment, Coach Miller, in which I had a quick conversation with someone last night and said, who of course informed me and let me know that that I guess you could say, quote unquote, you're a product of this coaching tree in a sense. First year coach winning the CUSMLB right off the rip. First year coach, correct, Coach Miller?
Yes, first year coach.
What does that feel like? You feel like justified? You feel like this is what you were supposed to be doing, and you get an opportunity, or are you still humbling yourself to where you're like, you know what, I got a little more to learn, and I was just successful going forward.
So I see somebody asked if I was strictly coaching or player coaching. So I did play. Last year, Coach Myers was the head coach. And I took over for him, but I'm strictly coaching now. I mean, I played a couple times when we were shorthanded, but pretty much just coaching now. And it's got its unique challenges, right? Like bringing a group of guys together and molding them and getting them to play the way that, what my brand of basketball was. So my background was, I was in the Marine Corps, played all Marine. I had some great coaches, Coach Red, Coach Gibson. I played for some great coaches, Coach Myers, but trying to incorporate what I learned from them all and bring it in to kind of my own style was very difficult, and getting guys to buy into that, right? And I think I have a lot to learn about coaching. I think when you're playing as a player, you know everything. Like you really know everything when you're playing. When you're playing, you're like, nah, the coach said run this, or coach, nah, he don't know what he's talking about. I think what definitely helped me was that I played with a lot of these guys, the last 2 seasons.
Uh-huh.
As a player, they respect me, but it's hard sometimes to switch from being a player to a coach. It's very hard, and so definitely a lot of growing pains on my part. I did have a great assistant coach this year. He was Coach Meyer's assistant, Coach Rob, and he definitely, our talked with him and listened to what he had to offer me. I think assistant coaches don't get kind of the recognition that they deserve. They kind of all the show we won, and now it's Coach Miller and the team. But, having a great assistant coach that helps step up when, I wasn't available, or, he puts a lot of countless hours in looking at offenses, studying other teams that we're going to play where we can find film. So I think just taking it all in from everyone else, and I think we were just fortunate, everything's kind of clicked for us at the right times, and we were able to make a good run. We've been, regular season champs and then winning the conference tournament. And so, those were our goals, and now we have 2 more. And, hopefully finish the season strong.
So for the both of y'all, I hear you point out the fact of the former player versus former coach. Do you both believe as well that is paramount in being, especially in coaching in military basketball, or do you feel like it is some individuals that can get away with it if they haven't played and been able to come in and coach? Because I know sometimes y'all probably sit and be like, I can get this dude buckets. Why he said, like you said, coach, you as a coach, you watch the player and knowing that you should do this. He's like, player knows it all. Do you ever have to take that challenge on, or do you just sit back and chill and let it happen? So take us through that, coach, player, former player, now coach. What's that like?
Oh, that was one of the biggest challenges this year. Just trying to switch hats from player to coach.
Mm-hmm.
And just coach. Definitely, there's times where I'm like, man, I could probably alter the game like this if I was in. But now it's just it's a chess match against the other coach. I'm strictly coach. I played last year, but I was hurt the whole year. Played with a partially torn meniscus and Achilles.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm pretty hard headed. I just want to get out there and I just want to play. So this year I'm strictly coach. The only time I played was when I had only like 7 guys, and we had to go play 2 games. So I knew I'd have to go in and give my guys some minutes so they can get a break. So for the injury prevention and the wear and tear on their body and stuff. But other than that, I'm just strictly coaching. Like Coach Miller was saying, the hardest part for coaching is getting a group of guys together and trying to get them to buy in and play a certain way and play for the team. Especially when you have a brand new team made from scratch, you might have like a couple vet players here and there. I had like three that I actually played with, so they're at. But other than that, I had a completely new team of just brand new players, brand new guys. Some guys who've never played military basketball before. I've even had some guys who didn't play under the whistle before. So that was.
That's crazy. So you bring up a good point, Coach. So what is it like when you take a look at the people that you used to play with, and you kind of know their tendencies and the things in which you used to have to engage with as a player, knowing that sometimes you get that side out like, come on, bro, how do you navigate that type of situation where going in, especially when you pick up the reins of like, I want to be the coach for the team this year, you have those veterans and who you played alongside that you should share the court with. Now you have to look at it in a different way. How do you guys navigate that situation?
Right. I'll say, you get the respect as a player, but you also have to establish, all right, even like a lot of these guys, they're my friends. So you have to establish that, all right, we're in the gym, I'm Coach Peart. I'm not JP, I'm not your homeboy. You have to respect that part. I'm not a player anymore. So you have to engage with me not as your peer, but like your coach, you know. But I do. I'm not like somebody you can't like talk to, or you can't come and give me recommendations and stuff like that, because it's my first year coaching too.
Okay.
I have a lot of pre-work before the season start to study other coaches. My coach Dexter Mitchell, previous coach here before, like my mentor, so I go to him for a lot of stuff. I might have him pop in on practices, see how it's going. He might jump in, give me a little pointer here or there. Other than that, I'm like, what do you see out there? Where can I improve at, and this, that, and the other. And then especially with my assistant, he's kind of brand new to this coaching thing, brand new to basketball in general. So having him, seeing his growth from the beginning to now, I know like we're on the right track for years to come.
Okay, that's a good thing. So before we get into this NBA, go ahead, Coach Miller. I want you to tap in on that. Then I got one more thing. Then we get into some of this NBA action from last night and this weekend.
I think a lot of the guys. I think we have 5 returning players that when I first met them a few seasons ago, I just happened to walk into a gym. It was during COVID, and they needed some people to scrimmage, and I was going back and forth with them, as a competitor, and then. Kind of found out what the NBA was about. Coach Myers brought me in. They first season I kind of helped coach them, and then they created a veteran exemption that I then played under, and so I was grinding it out with them every day after that. Going back and forth, and so now to switch to hey, now I'm in charge of deciding how many minutes you get, deciding when you see the court, deciding what we're going to do offensively, defensively, and I think what's helped a lot is that I have some older players. I have some guys that have played, at the all-armed forces level. And those guys were basically, last year the team's kind of flux where we're going to have a team, we're not going to have a team. And once I decided to coach, they all decided to come back to play for me. So I think it made the transition a lot easier because I had these guys that have played at higher levels and these older guys, the veterans on our team, buy in. And so now the younger guys, they almost had no choice, right? Like they're like, these older guys, the veterans are in, they're supporting him, whatever he needs, they're there. And that actually made my transition a lot easier, right? Mm-hmm. Knowing that these guys looked at me as the coach, our team captains, we have, Michael Argyle and Simpson, they kind of, set the tone for the team. And it basically, they, are doing things the way that I want us to do them. And so it just kind of creates the culture from me to our assistant, to the team captains, to the rest of the team, to this is how we're going to play, this is how we're going to conduct ourselves. And so it's made it a lot easier transition for me, honestly.
Okay, of course. What's good? The standing. Good morning. Glad to have information this morning. TT, what's good with y'all? Hope y'all enjoyed yourselves in Denver. What's good, Mike fam? Appreciate you, brother. Thank you. So, Wu, to answer your question, yes, both coaches are going to be at nationals this year. They tapped that. Let us get that information. Matter of fact, first round they face each other in doing that, in which we're going to get back to that soon, real quick. But like I was saying, right, first and foremost, shout out to Coach Red, as you was talking about Coach Miller, that you played for, them winning the WAMAC this past weekend. So, another conference that got a W, that championship taken care of. I know the Pac West plays this week, so they'll do that as we get ready to go forth, in which y'all get a chance to, which y'all continue to have our opportunity to move forth. And for you playing in the NBA, Coach Miller, you, like you said, you have 2 goals in which hurdles in which you're trying to clear. One being the Nationals, and the second one a chance at winning the championship in the NBA. So, real quick, as we get ready to go on. What's good, my brother? You can come on in.
What's going on? WGL, how y'all living?
Oh, it's a good. Got two first year champions at that. First year coaches. Already claiming chips as it is.
Oh, okay.
Chips with the dip.
Okay. All right. What's going on, coaches? How y'all doing this morning?
Good, man.
That's what's up. Y'all forgive my tardiness, man. I had to take care of some fraternal business, and therefore that's why I'm on here a little late.
Speaking of fraternal business, how was your weekend there, sir?
It was good, man. We had an amazing.
That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. So that's us. We is getting ready. First of all, where are y'all from, Coach and Coach Miller?
I'm from Killeen, Texas.
Shout out to Central Texas,
Yeah.
home of the Cavazos now. And yourself, Coach Miller?
From Baltimore, Maryland.
Be more in the building. So, with that being said, who's your favorite teams? Who y'all rocking with?
I mean, I live in Denver now, so I'm a Nuggets fan. Been a big fan of Jokic for years. I've been trying to tell people about him for years now, and so now Denver's finally coming together. So they looked good last night. Looked real good. Yeah.
Goodness gracious,
So,
did they do problem work?
We was just
work
in
last
your. We
night.
was just in your area, Coach Miller. That's where we
Right.
just came from. I just flew back out from Denver last night or yesterday afternoon.
Yeah, we just flew back in last night from Dallas, so for the tournament. But yeah, gonna try to catch. Probably hope we try to catch that playoff game Wednesday night here in Denver. So
Nice.
Okay.
Well, I grew up a Dwayne Wade fan, so I'm a Heat fan by default right now.
Okay.
You sound like this guy.
Hey, I like it, man. The Heat, man, the Heat
They
last
took
night.
they took care of business. They took care of business.
Man, Jimmy Butler, that dude, man. Jimmy Butler put the team on his back, bro. That dude is a 22 points in the first half, bruh.
Sometimes that's how I go down. So let's get into that real quick. You know what I'm saying? First, this is by no means
yes, it is
by design.
Coach Miller, Coach Park. I'm gonna tell you this dude because y'all
is
know
not
he a
by
Lakers
design.
fan. Hold on, you know he a Lakers fan, right? Anytime, let me tell y'all about my constituent right here, right? This dude here, man. Anytime when the Lakers losing, he you know what? It could be 2 games that night. If the Lakers lose, he ain't gonna mention nothing about the game. But let the Lakers win. Oh, he want to start to show off with the Lakers. They won. Oh, let's start off. Let's put it. So now that they won last night, even though it was,
I'm not about to start them. That's not. I'm going
I don't even want to
in order.
Before you
I'm
even
going
get
in
there, though,
order.
Trey. Before you even get there, Trey, I don't even want to give y'all no credit for just like you remember. It's crazy, Trey, because remember I'm gonna go back. Remember when we played y'all the 49ers in football, and you talk when we beat y'all, and it was because that blah 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 blah. And now you want to accept? Do you accept this win last night versus Memphis without Ja Morant?
For what? First and foremost,
look at this dude
first and foremost, we played. Of course, Anthony Davis was down for a second.
He down the second half of the game though.
He came back.
He did come back, and he came back. Ja went out in the third quarter.
He did not come back though.
It's unfortunate.
Oh, it's unfortunate. So just like it was unfortunate for both of your quarterbacks to go down in the playoff in the NFC Championship game, but it was like, do you accept that win? Yeah, I accept that win. But now you want to accept your win with the Memphis Grizzlies. Don't worry about it.
I accept.
Don't worry about it. Hopefully he be back for this next game.
He's not coming back.
I hope Ja back. I hope Ja back. He almost dunked though, Davis. Just know Davis was about to be posted. He's about to be on the poster. You know that, right? You do know that.
If you get posted, you get posted.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like I was about to say, this is why I say because my constituent, as he would say here, is a Brooklyn Nets fan, and we all know on Saturday, the beginning of the NBA playoffs, Brooklyn faced off against Philadelphia. Joel Embiid, James Harden, and company. Unfortunately, the only person in Brooklyn that's hot right now is, of course, Mikal Bridges, who scored 30 points, 5 rebounds, and 1 assist in that time frame. He had help from Cameron Johnson, 18 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 14 points, 3 rebounds, 7 assists from Spencer Dinwiddie, 10 points from Seth Curry. But it kind of stopped there in a sense. 3 points here and there. Joe Harris and one time Dorian Smith, 6 points, 5 points from Nick Claxton. But for the 76ers, 3 players with 20 points, 26 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists from Joel Embiid, 13 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, Tyrese Maxey, Tobias Harris, 21 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, James Harden, 23 points, 4 rebounds, 13-6, 11 points from Paul Reed. In-state, the Brooklyn Nets fall to Philadelphia in Philly for 121 to 101 to 121. Of course, that's just 76ers taking a 1-game lead, best of 7 series. Do y'all think this series is over already?
And bring that broom out.
Already? Just one game? That's how you feeling, Coach?
Who said that? Are you serious right now? Yeah. Oh my God, bro! You really think they're gonna sweep them?
The only reason why they're in the playoffs is because Kyrie and KD already put that work in for them.
Oh my God! No, you didn't.
You know
Oh
what?
my God! No, you didn't.
I've been
It
fighting
ain't
that.
like they was in the. You act like, come on, Jay. You act like they was in the number 1 seed.
They was up there though.
Y'all was.
We wasn't the number 1. We wasn't the
Y'all
number
was.
1.
Y'all was in the
Y'all
top
was like-
4.
We
Y'all
was
was
like
top
4 or
4.
5.
Y'all was the top 4, and y'all in the fifth
4 or
6.
5. Yeah.
Even though they was on Chicago was on y'all heels.
Oh my God! It ain't gonna be a sweep. It ain't gonna be no sweep. I'm telling y'all that now. It ain't
Gentleman
about to be
sweep.
no
You
sweep.
take a gentleman sweep instead?
I don't even think it's gonna be a gentleman sweep.
Oh, 6-2 is what you're thinking? 4-2?
4-2.
6
I'm
games?
saying it first. Yep, 4-2. I'm saying it now first, right here. 4-2. Give us 4-2.
Coach Miller.
That's
I think it's gonna go 4-1, man.
Gentleman sweep. Okay,
I mean-
give us a gentleman sweep. Coach Miller, what you feel? What you feel? How you feeling, fam?
I mean, I definitely think it's gonna go 4-1. I think Philly will have a letdown one game where they don't show up, but for the most part, I mean, they got nobody to stop Joel Embiid. I mean, Nick Claxton's too light, too little for him.
You know what? I didn't think about that. Y'all are kind of light there, Bishop. Yeah, I think I could agree with Coach P. A 4-0 could be a possibility.
Yeah. But see, this is the thing, right? And I totally agree. I totally agree with Coach Miller. I do in regards to Joel.
So you don't agree with us, is what you're saying?
No, I don't agree with JP. But I agree with the part that we don't. With Coach Miller, I agree with the fact that he said that we don't have nobody to stop and beat, which is facts, which is straight facts. But however, if we're able to slow him down just a bit, we don't need to completely stop him, but if we can slow him down a bit, just so we can force somebody else to be the man of the hour for that team, I think we can be competitive.
What?
We ain't gotta stop him. We ain't gotta stop him. We just gotta hold him down just a little bit. We ain't gotta stop him.
Like a little bit of Houston.
JP, you know hardness. You know he is sketchy. Know he's sketchy. Know he has the experience, but that's why he has no championships, bro. None. He's had multiple opportunities and yet has finished the race. I'm not worried about Harden. Harden is.
I think there's a game that Maxey is gonna hurt y'all too.
Yeah.
At least Maxey tends to show up and just has a
huge
game out of nowhere, or Tobias Harris or somebody.
Yeah,
like that.
But that's what I'm saying, Coach Miller. Those are the people that's gonna have to step up. Maxey, Harris, all of them gonna have to step. If we can contain Bede, those individuals which you're talking about, Maxey, Miller, all of them, even James Harden will have to step up. Have to. In my opinion.
That's only if Embiid is
right. Facts. Yeah. I agree with you on that one, JP. I do. Coach JP, I totally agree with you on that one. Facts.
Appreciate it, Courtney. So, of course, the next game, the Atlanta Hawks went to Boston for their beginning of their series, 7-game series, in which it wasn't the Hawks. Of course, DeAndre, led by DeJounte Murray, 24 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 16 points, 3 rebounds, 8 assists from Trey Young, 12 points apiece. John Collins and Clint Capella, both 8 rebounds for Capella, 4 rebounds, 1 assist from John Collins. DeAndre Hunter, 11 points for the night, 9 points from Bogdanovic, 6 points from Sadiq Bey. The Celtics, that man. I keep on telling you, Bishop.
There go that man again.
That man, Jaylen Brown, black masked up, 29 points, 12 rebounds, 3 assists. His partner in crime, 25 points, 11 rebounds, 2 assists from Jason Tatum, 12 points from Robert Williams III. Marcus Smart contributed with 11.7 rebounds, 7 assists. Horford, 6 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists. And Derek White, 24 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists. Of course, what's good, Coach Cal? What's going on, bro? Glad to have you, Martian. Of course, with that being said, Same question as before. Is Boston going to walk through this contest unscathed, or is there going to be a scare in y'all opinion?
Now this might be a sweep.
I think this one's a sweep. I don't know what.
This-
I know I saw they said Jaylen Brown busted his hand back open.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know, if that's gonna limit him any. But I think I've been telling people Jaylen Brown
It's a problem.
It's
That
definitely
dude
a problem. And
Yes.
even last season, he was, I know Tatum gets most of the recognition there, but Jaylen Brown was the most consistent player on that team last
Thank
season
you.
in the playoffs. And so if he's playing the way he's been playing and continues that, and Tatum stays consistent, plus they have, the Williams kid in the middle now back.
Mhm.
That's
So I'll
what-
ask y'all this, because we're on the same wavelength there, Coach. But I ask you this: do you foresee if Jaylen Brown was to go somewhere else, is he that dude, or do you think it's just a product of him playing with Jason Tatum?
No, I think he's still going to be a problem somewhere else. I think you might see him get better, honestly, not having to share the ball with Tatum. I think he's that good. I think his jumper, everything's gotten a lot better. At first, he was just athletic to me, but now his jump shot's gotten better. He's learned the game more at that level, that speed. I think he goes somewhere else, he's probably going to be better.
I agree. I've been on Jason Brown for a while. I hope we come on, Bond.
Here he go. Here we go with the nonsense. He's
I ain't
not
said
coming in.
anything. You ain't even let me get it out.
We
I was
already,
about
I already know.
I was about to say maybe he should go to Brooklyn.
No, you wouldn't. Stop, Trey. Stop it, bro. Stop it. This dude here, man.
Pull him
This
in
dude
Brooklyn.
here.
But of course, Atlanta, say falls to Boston, like we said, 112 to 99, 13 point. Wasn't that bad. They got I don't see a sweep. Courtney said, Top says,
no sweep.
Celtics
Y'all don't see a sweep.
Celtics and 6.
Yeesh.
I think a genuine sweep possibly. I think they can get one. I think Atlanta could get one.
So y'all mean to tell? So hold on. So y'all
Yes,
mean
that's
to
exactly what I'm saying. Brooklyn
Hold
cannot
on.
get one, but Atlanta can. Yes, that's
What?
clear and concisely.
This
Thank
dude
you, Coach
here.
Cal.
This
It is
dude
not.
here.
Hey, it's just like he said. It was something
This
key.
dude
It was
here,
something key
man.
that was said. It's a problem. He can't. There's no one that can
And
stop
Jaylen Brown and Tatum is not. Is not. Is what you're saying. They're not problems.
Yes,
I
they
just said-
are.
They're more of a they're a two-headed problem.
That's why.
Yes.
But I get that. But I think Atlanta could get one in based on when they go home. They can get one at home. Brooklyn, on the other hand, I don't think
the
all y'all
three?
have is
Will, are you serious?
all he has. All
Well,
Brooklyn
you know,
has. All Brooklyn has is Mikal Bridges, and he's not going to be able to hold the line like that versus Embiid, Maxey, Harris, or Harden. It's going to be hard. That's why I think in the state is they're going to potentially they can be swept. I think they got the bad matchup for the first
What's going
round.
on, Commissioner Myers? How y'all doing? How you doing, man? What's good? They I don't know, man. They got the Nets getting swept, but the Atlanta Hawks is going to survive against Boston, who was in it.
I didn't say survive. I said it's
Yeah, you did
sweep.
basically fourth. Oh, still they survived.
I'm saying Boston in 5. That's
Oh
it.
my God, bro.
Boston in 5.
Moving
That's
on right along. This dude.
Moving along, of course,
This
what
dude.
was the first of an upset from a team lower the 3
Upset.
versus the 6. Yes, 3
Upset.
versus 6. Yeah,
That's a
correction.
what?
4. I'm sorry.
So
4
make sure
versus
you
5.
make sure you say this. The Lakers game was an upset too. Now
It was a 7
Okay.
and a 3, a 2. That's definitely an upset. But the difference is we won. Well, and so basically what we say, going back to it, not Brooklyn, New York
Stop
Knicks,
yeah, stop it. Don't do that. Don't do
Cleveland
that.
Cavaliers. New York gets the dub, 101 to
Not
97.
Not surprising.
Jalen Bronson led the field, 27 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 17 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists from his running mate in college, Josh Hart. 19 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists from Julius Randle as he was back in the fray. Quentin Grimes, 5 points, 7 points from RJ Barrett. Obi Toppin contributed with 9 points. Harrison, 8. For the Cavaliers, 38 points from Donovan Mitchell, but it just wasn't enough. 5 rebounds, 8 assists, 14 points, 14 rebounds, 4 assists from Jared Allen. 8 points, 11 rebounds from Evan Mobley. 9 points from C.D. Osman. do y'all think this is going to continue on? Do you think that was just that New York was able to catch them slipping, and but Donovan is not going to allow this again, or do you think this is a series that goes goes to the end?
7 games.
Okay.
All right, coach. All right, I see you. All right now.
Games.
I
But
like
7 games in whose favor though?
Man, it depends. If, to be honest, I think RJ Barrett in the hot seat.
Ooh.
Ooh.
If he shows up, I think Knicks.
Ooh.
Okay,
Got-
we'll say 4-2 to Cavs. Oh, you said Cavs is 6.
Disrespectful. Will, I don't know what you looking at. Ooh,
What's good, Colton? Glad to have information with us this morning. You too, Will fam. What's going on? So Will says 4-6. I mean, Cavs is 6. JP says 7 games, a 7-game series. Does Donovan Mitchell have enough, even Mobley and Darius Garland, to win this series? And basically, that's what it sounds like Will is saying. Do y'all agree with that? Or do you think New York actually really creeps in and steals this one?
I still think New York is the team. In my opinion, I think New York is going to win this series.
This is probably the best series right here. It's the best series for sure.
The best, most contentious, the best match series that's out there.
Yeah, it could flip either way.
Either way, yeah, I'm with that.
So y'all think that's only based on the fact that Julius Randle came back, or could this still be that type of series even if Julius Randle was still out?
I think Jalen Brunson is that dude over there in New York.
Okay.
But Donovan Mitchell could give you 60.
Correct. He can.
So
I actually have a bet on this series, actually.
Okay.
So I've had this conversation, and
okay, talk to us, Coach.
I went with the Cavs on this one because I done watched the Knicks be good so many years in the regular season and then not show up in the postseason. Now, I agree Jalen Brunson is a problem, and bringing him in is a different look for them. But, I mean, they got to show me something first. Like, I'm never going to bet on the Knicks. Like, I think even Spike Lee stopped betting on the Knicks. Like, I'm sorry, I will not bet on them until they can win something. I'd rather lose this bet than risk betting on them. The Cavs, I'm hoping it's a 4-2 series. I think the Cavs are a deep team. I think that Knicks will find a way to lose this.
Wow.
dang.
The Knicks will be the Knicks.
Somebody say Coach P is right.
So it's this, like you said, I think Coach B was right saying this is probably going to be the tightest series, the hardest match, to where truly you don't know. I think 7 games might be that exactly that, but of course, like Commissioner Myers said, the Knicks are going to Knicks, and basically that's saying we don't know who we going Julius Randle, who we gonna get night in, night out. I can't
agree with Coach JP though. I don't think that's the hardest series.
No,
no. The Clippers and the Suns is the hardest series to me.
Oh man,
I don't know about that.
Man, I just believe that, bro. I believe that. I truly do. I think that's the hardest series. In my opinion.
You know what? We gonna get into it.
We're gonna get to it though. We'll get to it. But
next up, another upset. Not an upset. What was expected to happen? You would think in the years past this would have been an upset, but of course the Western Conference in full on center stage. Sacramento Kings, Golden State Warriors. What we thought was going to happen isn't what happened. I guess depending on who you are. Steph Curry.
Hold on. What did you think was going to happen?
Yeah. Honestly, I thought Golden State was going to get a dub. I thought that.
Oh, okay.
I did. Coach JP is like, stop playing, Trey. I did. I mean, I don't want to sit up and it's just like what Coach Miller was saying. We talk about Sacramento Kings. Like, you know what I'm saying? They've been hot. I mean, they've been one of the top. I mean, obviously they're a top 6 team in the NBA because they're the 3rd seed out west.
Mm-hmm.
But we're talking about Sacramento, just like he said talking about before he bet on the next on Sacramento. I don't know. I've always quick to talk about the Sabonis and Fox duel, but it was an unlikely source this week, in which was the person that helped out. When you look at it, like I said, Steph Curry, 30.6 rebounds, 2 assists, 21.6 rebounds, 5 assists from Klay Thompson, 17 points apiece from Andrew Wiggins and Jordan Poole, 10 points for Devontae DiVincenzo. Draymond Green, 4 points, 9 rebounds, 11 assists. But it was an unlikely source, like I said. De'Aaron Fox, we already know was going to get his 38 points, 1 rebound, 5 assists. So he was murking Steph. 13 points from Harrison Barnes, 12 points, 16 rebounds, 2 assists with Domantas Sabonis. He's turning into a triple-double, but he got a double-double the other night. Trey Lyles with 16 points. But just as Draymond said, you expect De'Aaron Fox to get 38 or more, just like Coach Cal just said. However, you can't allow Malik Monk to get 32 off the bench. That's the huge
32
issue.
off the bench.
32 off the bench. That's what you're gonna account for. I'm big on you let it, like I looked at when the NCAA, you let Caitlin Clark get off. You can't stop her from getting off. Let her go. You gotta lock everyone else down. You can't allow Malik Monk.
That's what I said about Embiid. But go ahead. It's funny. It's just funny, ironic. But go ahead.
Y'all see, I gotta put out with day in, day out.
I'm just
Malik Monk, 32 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. That was probably the dagger in which they didn't expect that. He got off in-state. Sacramento was being the 3-seeded team, was supposed to do that. They thwart Golden State. Of course, Golden State hasn't been the best on the road either. 126-123, taking a 1-0 lead. What's your thoughts on this series?
I want to hear this, especially from JP, because JP be coming out with some outlandish stuff. I want to hear this.
Man, bring out the broom.
Oh, you serious, JP?
JP trying to get some likes. He trying to get followers. JP trying to get followers, bro.
I know it's the playoffs, but the Warriors can't win on the road.
Correct. They're correct. Okay.
They are sorry on the road. They are trash on the road.
But they're potent at home.
Yeah, don't let it be a late game because De'Aaron Fox is going to take over the game.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then Malik Monk is just that factor. And then Sabonis hasn't even started playing well yet. It's only first game. He didn't do what he usually does.
Okay, that's fair.
So I think
a straight sweep though, JP.
I mean, the Warriors can catch fire, but the Kings, they can score 150 points.
But this is the thing, JP. You saying a straight sweep? The Kings won by 3.
Yeah, that's fine.
By 3 is at home, barely. And you saying a sweep?
And Steph did his thing, but it's the Kings, man. The Kings, man. People are sleeping on the Kings.
And you feel the same way, Coach Miller?
No, man. No. Look, man. I think this is gonna go 6 or 7.
Okay.
I think if I had to pick, I'm gonna go with Golden State to win the series because this experience in the end, man. I think Sabonis. I'm a fan of Sabonis as well, but he didn't have the game he had because Draymond still is that defender. Like, and he's that smart of a player. You know, I'm not always the biggest fan of Draymond, but what he does on the defensive end and controlling the game without being as a scorer, you know, by getting Steph off, by getting Klay off, by doing all those things, you know, I think that he's going to kind of keep Sabonis in check. I think now he'll have a game or two, but I don't think we're going to see him doing what he was doing during the regular season. I think a lot of teams probably slept on the Kings during the season because it's the Kings.
Yeah.
Now we're in the playoffs. I think Steph is probably going to have a 50-point game at some point.
Speak on it.
I think as hard as it is for them to check De'Aaron Fox, I mean, they couldn't do nothing with Steph. I mean, they could not stop him. Klay, I think is going to have a Klay Thompson game or two. And then still have Jordan Poole, who
I was about to say, don't forget about
the
Poole.
game that he's been playing, like, you know. So
Yeah, don't forget about Poole.
and I really like
Wiggins back.
Yeah, don't
and
forget
I
about
really
Poole.
like DiVincenzo and Peyton, you know, as their energy guys and their defenders there. So I think they have a, you know, solid team. You know, once you get past Monk on the bench, like I don't even know who else is on that team. I know they got
Horchard.
Yeah,
they got Horchard. They got Keegan. So I mean, they got a couple of pieces, but like you said, to the ones in which you just mentioned, it's different. Like you got to take it. I think it continue with the X factor is the fact that they got Wiggins back, and Wiggins has to get acclimated once again. So
I mean, really, Golden State should have won that game. I mean, the last play, Clay gets in the middle of the lane and instead of shooting, kicks to a wide open Wiggins.
Yeah, and
I don't make that pass. It's the right basketball play, but I don't make that pass knowing he hasn't played in 2 months. You know, that's a floater in the lane to take the lead. So, I mean, realistically, Golden State had every opportunity, you know, to win that game. And they got, you know, some of the best game from Sacramento. And like you said, Sacramento barely pulled that one out at home at that.
Yeah, and those things you got to take it. So, you know what I'm saying? Those were Saturday's games. So a quick intermission in between that. We got a question for you, Coach Alex. Now that CMB has done, you know, saying slayed that CUSMNBL Dragon, what's next? Do y'all make noise in the tournament in the Nationals? Of course, as you know, first up is, like you said, the man you sitting across from you as of right now. But that's pool play. You know what I'm saying? That's pool play. What is your expectations? Of course, we know what it is, but what's the thoughts on that? To answer Coach Myers' question.
You know, I actually watched this show when they did the selections for Nationals, and there was a comment that our pool was the YMCA league or something.
Oh, bulletin material. Talk to me.
So now I'm sitting here, you know, across from Coach B, and they won their division, we won our conference, you know, and I'm trying to figure out.
Proof is in the pudding, huh?
And some of those other teams, you know, I know that we beat some of those teams. You know what I'm saying? That same weekend that selection show came out, we had just beat some of those teams that, you know, went higher than us. It's funny if you look at those rankings, which, you know, everybody has their own take on those. I see a lot of comments back and forth, and I don't engage in those things. But you know, there was a time when CMB wasn't even ranked. We maybe received some other votes, you know, and then next thing I know, you know, we got up to as high as 11 in the national one, and ended up finishing first in the NBA rankings. And some of the teams that were above us, there's I think 3 teams that we had just beat very recently in that ranking. And you know, I think the benefit for us is people don't know what we're coming with. You know, I think we gained a lot of attention. Now, if you go look, there's some film out there on us. But I think top to bottom, we have a very well-rounded team. We're not going to look past anybody. You know, I ain't gonna lie. When I looked at the pool play, I mean, I looked up. I found a picture of Herbert Airfield there, and I found, you know, my first thought was they're small. You know, they were undersized. I haven't seen any game film on them. You know, but what I know is that to get past nationals, you know, it was, you know, for us, it was a goal of ours to get invited. Now we want to go down there. You know, we're not just going for the experience, though, right? Like, we have a couple pieces coming as well that we've, you know, a lot of guys right after that reached out to me to play with us, guys that knew, you know. So we made those selections, and then you go down there, you know, get past pool play, and then from there, anything can happen, right? But our ultimate goal was to win the NBA Finals. That's, you know, that's what we put a lot of time and effort into. We traveled for regular season games. You know, that's what we've been building for. So to win the conference was our first goal. Now to go out and win the NBA Finals out in Wichita at the end of May is our goal. In previous seasons, CMB, we always went in tournaments ranked real low. Regardless of how well we played during the season, somehow we didn't show up in the conference tournaments, or we didn't travel well. And so we always went in as like a 14 seed or some craziness, you know, and next thing you know, we're in the Final Four, the championship game, and we weren't able to ever close it out. This season, we're probably going to go in with the number one or 2 seed. And so it's a lot different playing. When you have a 1 next to your name on the bracket, you get everybody's best game. And that's what I told my guys. You know, every game, we got everybody's best game. Offit went 1-11 on the regular season, and they came out and hit 8 threes in the first quarter on us, but they were still down 10, so we're going to take everybody's best shot. We know that. So there's no game where we can't come ready to play.
Okay.
From here forward, we used to be able to, kind of sneak up on teams. And so now going forward, where they know us, have seen us play, just having that 1 or 2 next to your name being a higher seed, you're going to get everybody's best game.
Okay.
And so that makes us have to be ready to play every single game. And I think we're up for that. We're ready for it. And here in 2 weeks at Nationals, we're going to come back out and, make some noise there, have some good games. It'll be good to play some teams that we haven't seen, teams that we haven't played. We play a lot of the same teams a lot. We don't get out, further east a lot. We go west sometimes, but so to play some teams that you haven't seen a lot is going to be real good for us. And it definitely, you get to see, as a younger coach, Nudis, that's when I get to see, like, I have, my goal is within the first 3 to 5 minutes of that game, we have to know what the other team's doing, what they want to do, their tendencies, make adjustments on the fly. And then that's when you really get to see how, far you've come as a coach and how far you've come as a team to be able to respond, And so it's going to be good.
Okay, for you, JP, since Coach Miller brought up that, what was your reaction when you looked and seen the brackets and you heard everybody and like you said, the comment, the YMCA league and point well made, a couple of conference champions at this point. So what was your thought once you during the selection show?
I mean, kind of Coach Miller's thoughts too. If you look at our pool, to be honest, I think we have the toughest pool. You have Fort Bragg that ranked really high, and then you got us champions, including Coach Miller. And I mean, you can't count any team out at all, especially coming to nationals. You never know what team is going to show up. With pickups, the free agents, you get your two free agents. We made a great pickup, but I'm coming down with pretty much the same team, plus a +1. And so if I'm taking this team and I got a former player that I used to play with as a pickup, and I know what he can do, and he believes in me and believes in what I got going on. So just add into the firepower, and again, like for us this year, same with Coach Miller, we had goals, we had we wanted to go undefeated. We had a bad week, 7-0, had a bad week, but I think that was a wake up call for us not to take any team lightly. We went over to Pensacola, beat them the first game, but the second game they came out and stayed with us the whole time, and then we ended up losing, in the last seconds. And then the week after, going up with 7 players, playing a tough Eglin team, and then turn around and losing to Moody. It didn't work out for us in league play. Came out second. We wanted first, but we came up just a little bit short on that goal, but we turned around, bounced back from that, and won our conference tournament. So now we're working on our next goal in a couple weeks, trying to go out to nationals. We're not taking pool play lightly. You can't not do that. You can't take any game lightly. It's the top 16 teams in the country, so that says something. And again, like with Coach Miller, looking at the rankings throughout the year, people, have their say so on that. I felt like we should have been a top 5 team during our run. We never made past 7. I think that's because we didn't have any all armed forces guys, or But if they would have looked at the games, like tournament wise, we beat Bragg in Jacksonville, and they had their guys there. Mm-hmm. I was missing a key starter that game as well. So, it's just opinionated. So you can't take those rankings personal. You just got to show up during game time,
So acquisitions, did y'all both? Coach JP, I heard you said that y'all did get one. So you didn't go with the filling out your roster with both free agency. Coach Miller, how many free agents did you end up picking up?
We're looking at bringing 2.
Okay,
just because we have guys that can't make that trip. Having traveled down to Dallas this past weekend, then back home for a week, and then back to San Antonio the next weekend. Was kind of, that was kind of tough on our schedule, tough on guys, work commitments and stuff. I'm sure, some other teams, dealing with that. There's some teams that are going to play this weekend, in the Pac West Conference tournament that are also going to be at Nationals the following weekend.
Correct.
So, I mean, it's kind of, those travel schedules kind of hard, but we did pick up 2 to fill out the 2 exemptions, just to have more depth going down. Just some guys that we know are very skilled players. That the hardest part was trying to pick the 2 guys, like you said, that kind of fit with your team already, right? Because, we obviously just went, 5-0, won the conference tournament. You don't want to mess up your chemistry a lot, You want to, what's kind of worked for you, what's clicking, what's working. So the guys that we're bringing in, though, we're pretty confident that, they're able to fit into our system and what we want to do. And, we'll just go down there and, it'll be the same thing, same mentality we had this weekend. Like I told the guys, it's kind of like your games there is like, even if a win is a win at this point, going forward. Like not every game is going to be a blowout. Not every game is going to be pretty, or the whole game's for full 40 minutes. So the goal is just go down there and win, regardless what it takes, take it game by game and win.
Okay.
And then keep moving forward.
Got it. Of course, Coach Cal with some wisdom as a former coach in the game, veteran coach, Hall of Fame coach. Of course, the national rankings, he said, take it with a grain of salt.
Right.
You see, it is what it is.
I think it was just to make sure you were inside that top 16 for us, right?
Yes.
Like I said, we were so far out of the rankings that I think we were others receiving votes at time that it was like our goal was to go to national. So it was like, dang, like, okay. So, I mean, we lost 2 early games to Cannon early in the season. We traveled down there, and we haven't lost since. We're 16 straight or something. And so to do that, won 2 tournaments already since then, and to only climb to 11th, it's like, as soon as we hit that 16 mark, I didn't care no more.
Yep.
I was like, it doesn't matter to me. The teams that are in the top 5, top 10, whatever, we've played and beat some of them. We've lost to some of them in the past. Like, it doesn't matter. As long as you get there, I mean, it doesn't matter. Fort Riley was a 10 seed coming into the conference tournament and went all the way to the championship, Yep. So the seedings don't matter. It's just getting there that matters.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So of course, tapping back into the NBA the Sunday. First off, we start with Miami's JP's team, as we talked about, in which this was a game, of course, I'm very sure everyone thought the same thing. What, Bishop, man?
I'm tired of you, man. I can't stand you, man. I'm tired of you, man.
Everyone thought this was going to be a game in which I know I did. I just knew Milwaukee was going to go and take care of business, take the one.
Come on, man. Hold on, Trey. Stop, man. Stop. You ain't go. So you ain't gonna act like. So you ain't gonna act like Freak didn't go down. You ain't gonna act like
he did.
So do you?
So
really think
what you're saying?
So
what you're saying is Miami.
What you really think they'd have won without if Greek was there?
So what I did not expect is I didn't expect Chris Miller to drop 30.
He had to. He had no choice. Greek went down.
Him and Bobby Portis. I didn't expect that.
He had no choice, bro. Come on, man. Y'all, man. It was major injuries this weekend, man. Major injuries this weekend on a lot of people, including some of your own, which I know you know. Major injuries.
I'm still here. I just got to grab something.
No, you good? Yeah.
So Chris Miller, 33 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 21 points, 8 rebounds from Bobby Portis, 16.7 rebounds, 16 assists from Drew Holiday, 12 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists from Grayson Allen. Giannis Antetokounmpo, 6 points, 3 rebounds. But he only trained sparingly, as we know. He did go down with an injury, a back injury, which he's being looked at. They're not going to sure if he's going to be ready for game 2. Wesley actually 6 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 9 points, 2 rebounds for Joe Ingles. Dre Crowder, 2 points for the Heat. Jimmy Buckets, 35 points, 5 rebounds, 11 assists. So what we got to take in consideration, right? And before I get to the rest of the squad, because they all put in work. Bam Adebayo, 22 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists. They went in. Kevin Love off the bench, 18 points, 8 rebounds, 1 assist, 15 points, 3 rebounds. Caleb Martin, Gabe Vincent, 15 points, 2 rebounds, 6 assists. Max Struss, 8 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. Tyler Hero, 12 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, but he's out with a broken wrist, a broken hand, which he's expected to be out 6 to 8 weeks. 4 to 6 weeks. So we might not see him the rest of the season, let alone the rest of the playoffs. When you look at that, Bishop, Coach Miller, I know JP if he can hear us, could Miami have won with even with Greek Freak in the fray?
No.
No. Oh,
Thank you, Coach Miller. Thanks, Coach Miller. No, we all know this. No, come on, man. Seriously,
yes.
Not taking anything from Adebayo, not taking anything away from, Jimmy Butler, JB. Not taking anything from Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero, he started, he came out firing. Not taking anything from any of that. But bruh, that team, the Bucks, is a whole different team when Giannis is on the floor. Total different team. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not downgrading. I'm not downgrading. You know what I'm saying? Middleton or anybody like that on that squad. It's just the fact of the matter. Giannis is a force. Again, we talking about. Everybody wants to say the Nets gonna get sweep with Embiid, but I guess it's gonna be a series if Giannis ain't here. If Giannis ain't there, it's gonna be a series. I'm telling y'all, man. The Heat wouldn't have won that game if Giannis was playing. In my opinion, just my opinion. It might have been a good game. It might have been closer, but I don't feel like they get that win with Giannis on the court. I don't. Jimmy Duncan. I mean, not taking them from Jimmy B, but Jimmy wasn't been doing all that in the paint. All the stuff they was doing in the paint, Giannis ain't having that. Y'all know better than that. Come on.
We'll take him. Next up, of course, he said Middleton really a max player. Is Middleton a max player? Do you think Middleton deserves to get the max contract this year?
Ooh. I don't know about this year, but I mean, he has been a max player.
I agree with that.
I think right now, if you were to give him max contract, you're going to end up in another situation where in 2-3 seasons, you're not going to be getting the same production from him. I think if we were talking 2-3 seasons ago, you're talking about giving him the max contract, then yeah. But not right now.
Before the injury.
Right. So now I don't think so, but I do think that he is still, a player that is going to contribute to that team that you have to account for. And, before his injury, I would have thought any given night he could have got you 30. Now I think, he could go for 30, but teams aren't as worried about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Which what Coach Miller just said is exactly what we just saw last night. He didn't drop 30, he got close to 30, but he couldn't do enough to get the team the dub.
Right.
And that's why you can't afford to give him a max contract. Now, if he was able to get the team a dub, and depending on how long Giannis is out, and he can continue to carry the team and put the team on his back while Giannis is out, say for instance, if Giannis is out 1 or 2 more games, then now we can consider being a max player. But if he can't do that and get the dubs while Giannis is recovering,
I mean, I think right now they got to look at Drew Holiday giving them more of a chance than, Middleton, so.
Facts.
Moving on back into Coach Miller's neck of the woods of Denver Nuggets. Last night, I really thought Minnesota was going to pinch them at least. It wasn't even close. And it wasn't like a drubbing. Well, it was a drubbing. I was about to say it wasn't. I was about to say what was a drubbing. Yes, but I looked at it like you would have looked up and thought that Jokic just had immaculate night. 13 points, 14 rebounds, 6 assists. Of course, like I said, Jamal Murray's that dude. 24 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists. 15 points, 4 rebounds from Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. 14 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. Bruce Brown. 18 points, 11 rebounds. Michael Porter Jr. Aaron Gordon, 13 points, 5 rebounds. And then on the opposite side of the spectrum, the Timberwolves, very dismal. Anthony Edwards dropped 18 points. He led the field for them. 2 rebounds, 5 assists go along with that. Rudy Gobert, 8 points, 13 rebounds. 11 points, 10 rebounds from Karl Anthony Towns. 12 points from Jalen Noel. Kyle Anderson, 11 points. Conley Jr., 8 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. and Nickeil Alexander or Walker 7 points. Is this another sweep, or does Denver them get one? In your opinion?
Let them get one.
Yeah,
Wow.
That's
I think it's
respectful.
going. Yeah, I think Denver's going to have to mess up in order for them to get a dub.
I think they're going to get
Oh,
one
no, you know what?
in Minnesota. They might.
Okay.
You know, Denver has, as of late, they've been, you know, they played down some.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully now that was just because they already knew they had the 1 seed wrapped up, and now they're locked back in. You know, but
I think that's what.
yeah, the way they ended the season, I was a little concerned. Like, dang, like
Mm-hmm.
you want to be trending up, not, you know, kind of plateauing how they were. But then they came out last night, and I think the fact that Jokic had a average game for what we call it for him, you know, if he goes back to, you know, 20, 15, and 10, I mean, I don't think Minnesota wins a game.
And he showed some. He showed he was in his bag a little bit last night. He showed that. But it was Jamal Murray show last night. But Jokic showed that what he can do for the most part. Do you think he's going to overmatch Cat and Gobert over the course of the series?
Yeah, I think he is. I think defensively they can't stop him. Like whether he's scoring, facilitating.
Oh, that footwork.
I mean, they just can't stop him.
Right.
He's, for being as unathletic as he is, I mean, he missed that and got the putback right away. I mean,
yeah,
He did.
it's just stuff like that. He just takes up so much space, uses his body so well. You know, Gobert was getting frustrated last night, just trying to, you know, guard him. Cat, same thing. I mean, and then even if you get them, I mean, you still have, you know, Aaron Gordon. You still come in. You have Michael Porter Jr. If he plays like that, I mean, it's nobody that can. That's going to stop them on that team.
Yeah, I had them coming out the West.
The disrespect.
Oh yeah, you got something to say about that, huh? Because he done sat here and boo booed on them Lakers. You got something to say about that, huh?
The truth is in the pudding. Lakers after the All-Star break has the second best record in the NBA, behind the Milwaukee Bucks. So
everybody knows, bro. When it comes to the playoffs,
everybody
knows
when it comes to the playoffs. Let that sizzle in your soul.
When everybody says when it comes to the playoffs, it don't matter what you did in regular season. It does not matter. This man right here is about to be the first time 3-time MVP.
No.
It's gonna be Embiid.
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to see if somebody was gonna argue the fact. Okay, I'm with you.
I'm gonna argue the fact.
I think they're gonna give it to Embiid. I think
it
could have went to Jokic, but they're gonna give it to Embiid because they don't want to see him win a third one.
Is that what it is?
I mean, for everything Embiid does for his team, I mean, he scores, rebounds, you know, block. I mean, he's just doing all the same stuff.
Bro,
let's keep it a buck. Right?
Hold on, Trey. But just the stuff that these are the reasons why Jokic gets considered. Mike, who does that? Like he said, to be a non-athlete, like, come on, man. That's crazy. And it's a get Gobert. And like Gobert is one of the top
defensive player of the year.
He's in the year of the come on, bro. Like, so this is why he's considered.
Let's keep it a buck. We understand that it would be a detriment potentially for Jokic to win a third straight one, and then to have all 3 years in which Embiid has been on him. Possibly Embiid overtook him while Jokic was down. But even per NBA and ESPN, when you look at their rankings, power rankings and stuff like that for players, the last week, it was said that Jokic snatched that lead back just from those power rankings. I think so. Do y'all actually believe that that Embiid did enough to overtake him those 2 weeks in which Jokic was out?
I do.
The only thing that I think hurt Jokic is when Embiid had that monster game against him.
Y'all think one game was enough?
I mean, really? One game head to head. They only play each other twice a season. I mean, from the East and West. I mean, I would have liked to have seen Embiid play the second game, right?
Oh, yeah, 'cause
to me,
Jokic did- he
also
did
hurt
him
him
dirty.
because it was like you running from him now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he did him dirty. He
And so
he dropped a triple double on him, didn't he, in that game against
Right.
Philly? Yeah, so
I mean, I wouldn't be mad if Jokic won it, but I think Embiid should get it.
I think Jokic's game is just not as flashy, which is why you see in the All-Star game he's damn near the last pick.
mhm.
And so people don't look at his game and like that's what the MVP of the NBA should be.
Mhm.
You know, and he's been very not, what we've seen in the past, where you have LeBron, KD, guys that are scoring 30 plus a game and can come down and just offensively can't be stopped, and at least athletically wise, but Jokic offensively hasn't been stopped.
Yeah.
But let me ask both of y'all this though, Coach JP and Coach Miller.
Mhm.
The award is called MVP, most
Yeah, I was just about
valuable.
to
So
ask.
who, in
I
y'all's
was just-
opinion, is the most valuable? Embiid for the Sixers or Joker for the Nuggets? Who's most valuable?
That's why I'm going with Embiid. I was just about to ask Coach Miller this actually. I was like, if you take Embiid off, are the Sixers the same? If you take Jokic off,
Are
are the Nuggets the same?
I
Right.
think last season we saw without Jamal Murray, Jokic still carried that Denver team. I
Okay.
think if the Nuggets didn't have Jokic, I think if you look, I don't know that they even had a winning record when the games he didn't play this season. So
Mm.
you're talking about the Sixers have a former two-time MVP in James Harden or one. Either way,
Mhm.
they have other superstars. They have other all-stars on that team.
Mhm.
Denver doesn't even have another all-star on their team.
Mm.
So without Jokic, I don't think they're the same team.
You
As
don't
good as
think
Jamal
Jamal-
Murray is, he's
You
never
don't
been
think
an
Jamal
all-star.
Murray's that type of caliber?
Who?
Jamal Murray? You don't think he's that type of caliber?
I think he is, but according to the league, he's not.
He's not labeled as.
Like
Facts.
that.
Yeah,
I
he's
mean,
not
he had it, you look at the bubble, he
Yeah.
had those 50-point games and stuff. Then he got hurt. So I think, in people's mind, he wasn't going to come back the same player.
Mhm.
And I think he has come back very close to that player, but I don't think, he's going to carry the Nuggets to a number 1 seed in the West. I mean, there's guards that can guard Jamal Murray.
Correct.
Now we haven't seen anybody that can effectively stop Jokic or Embiid for that matter. But I'm just saying, you have a James Harden, you have a Tobias Harris, you have a Tyrese Maxey, you have guys that we're like
Shake Milton.
the reason why we just said that the Nets might get swept,
Right. Right.
I mean,
Facts.
Man, I think the argument goes both ways though, because
Yeah.
if I look at it, I think the Nuggets, if it were a series between the Nuggets and the Sixers, without Embiid and without Jokic, I think the Nuggets have the better team.
Ooh.
Really?
Wow. Even with so wait a minute, JP. See, this is what you. So I just said if we could slow down Embiid,
Mhm.
that the Nets would have a chance. Yet,
No, I'm saying
still-
without Embiid, without Jokic.
Yeah, but yet and still, you're saying and without Embiid and without Jokic, the Sixers still have a better team, or the Nuggets
No.
have a better team than Sixers.
I think they would win that series. Yeah,
Wow.
I think that's my opinion.
I
I mean,
got
I'm
you.
biased, right? I live here in Denver. I'm going to say the same thing.
Right.
But I think that Philly has a lot of weapons that, Denver and Philly match up really well. They're kind of similar constructed teams.
Mhm.
Mhm.
But I've also watched like Michael Porter just go 10 games without ever showing up. I've
Yeah.
watched Aaron Gordon come
Streaky.
from Orlando where he was a 20-plus point scorer to come to Denver, and now he sometimes doesn't show up, He came and
I think
accepted that role.
that's because Jokic is there.
For sure. I definitely think it is, but I think he just doesn't have that aggressiveness in him to carry a team either, And so I think the Nuggets we have Kentavious Caldwell-Pope now, and I've kind of liked him all the way since when he was back in Detroit. I think he was a great addition for the Nuggets. But I don't know that I I mean, I think it'd be a good series if you took both of them away, right? But
Mhm.
I definitely just I think Embiid is still too. I mean, he's a regular season player. I mean, he's been in the playoffs. I mean,
Yeah.
I still have to see that from him.
So moving to the next two more games, of course, they happen to just be LA teams. Of course, the first, the Clippers and the Phoenix Suns. This one, as Bishop said, he feels is going to be the hardest series in the NBA playoffs this year. Of course, Phoenix didn't take care of like we thought. 115-110 favor of the Clippers. Russell Westbrook 9 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists.
He's just a different person when he's not with the Lakers. He's just a total different guy.
So he had a dig last night when he's like, the team worries more so about my shooting. Okay, I got you, Russ. Kawhi Leonard, 38 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 14 points, 2 rebounds from Norman Powell. Mason Plumlee, 7 points, 11 rebounds, 2 assists. Ivica Zubac, 12 points, 15 rebounds. Nicholas Batum, 3 points. Eric Gordon, 19 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists. Another person which you got to account for, in which they didn't. Nashawn Highland, 3 points. And Terrence Mann, 10 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists for the Suns. Kevin Durant, a late start, but he did get it going. 27 points, 9 rebounds, 11 assists, 22 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist. Torrey Craig, another person off the bench in which you didn't count for points. It almost cost him. Devin Booker, 26 points, 1 rebound, 3 assists. Chris Paul, 7 points, 11 rebounds, 10 assists. DeAndre 18 points, 8 rebounds. And then really no one else made a difference. Clippers get the win 115-110. Is this a 7-game series?
7-game series. Don't you even ask that question. You know good and well this is a 7-game series. Even the question he asked.
I think
There's
it's a 6.
There's no gentleman sweeping this. Who gonna win?
That's what's a 6. I think it's a 6.
I said a gentleman said sweep. Ain't no being. How? So you said 4-6, 4-2. Got you.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's not gonna happen. In whose favor?
Phoenix.
At least you right about something. It ain't gonna be. I don't know, man. Because in a way, I want the Clippers to kind of win.
Kawhi can't keep that pace.
Yes, he can. What? Are you serious?
He can't. Yeah, I'm serious. Kawhi can't keep that pace.
Okay. You know who Kawhi is?
Is exactly why I say that.
Okay. This is the guy that just went to. This is the guy that went to Toronto the year he went and won it for Toronto. Okay.
And how long ago was that?
Yeah.
Not long ago.
That
2
was
years
long
ago.
It was
2
long
years
enough.
ago.
Yeah, that's not the same Kawhi, man. I don't think it's.
But
90-year-old LeBron is the same LeBron, huh? I bet he can do it, huh? I think LeBron is a break when needed player now.
Y'all better hope. I know why you say the Suns
Because
you don't want to see the Clippers. That's why you say the Suns.
Y'all don't worry about the Clippers.
You don't want to see the Clippers. Y'all don't want to see the Clippers, man. Y'all don't.
Yeah. Like the Knicks do, the Clippers gonna clip.
That part. You can't. It's. I think Kawhi can't keep up with that. I think Kawhi cannot keep that pace. Yes,
why does he need to? Why does he need to first?
He has to. You're playing.
Why?
They're playing against Phoenix.
PG didn't even play last night.
He's not going to play the whole series. So the only thing he has to rely on is Russell Westbrook. Now, I think Russell can be favorable, but that's only if Kawhi is not in the game. Russ doesn't play well, in my opinion, alongside other superstars. He needs to be able to do what he does without any abatement. And if Kawhi is there, then he has abatement because he has to look at giving the ball up and doing whatever. He's always going to be a player that's going to do anything on the court, but in order for him to carry a team or him to be where he's just going to go off the triple-double Westbrook, he can't have any running mates. And he has a running mate in Kawhi Leonard, and that's where I think is going to be the problem. I don't think he's going to – I don't think like I said, he can't keep up.
Feel the same way? Y'all feel the same way? So y'all got the Suns coming out taking this first round? The first round.
I think that the Suns will probably take it, but I think just your point about Russell Westbrook is just as much as he can help them if he locks in defensively and stays offensively. He has to stay aggressive. He can't get back to where he's settling for jump shots and he's trying to shoot the ball unless it's his mid-range pull-up. Like if he goes back to turning the ball over 10 plus times a game and forcing too much offense, and then he's going to hurt them. He's going to hurt the Clippers. So if he stays how he played last night, then, it'll probably be a 7-game series. But I just think KD and Booker, I don't think Chris Paul is going to have a game where he only scores 7 points again. I think the Clippers just have too much, or they don't have enough to match up with Phoenix, especially with Paul George out. So
now Clippers have the better bench. They have better, but I mean, yeah. I think it goes 6 in Phoenix. As much as it pains me to say it, but yeah, Phoenix goes.
Yeah, I think Phoenix in 6 too. You just Devin Booker and KD. Chris Paul. I mean, it's DeAndre Ayton, but it's a disgruntled DeAndre Ayton. I still think he could be a top center in the league, but I think he's got to get out of Phoenix. I think he's wasting away right there. He doesn't want to be there. All the coaching drama back and forth for 2 years now.
And then, like you said, the fact of KD's there. Yeah. It makes a difference. And then, like Coach Kyle was saying, the bench is exactly what we thought it would be. They basically leveraged their bench for a starting 5. It's a potent starting 5, but a lot of mediocre games in second round last year. The curse is still active. But yeah, so of course, last but not least, the best for last, Bishop, of course. Last night. And you know what? I almost called this game. I thought it was going to be 128 to 108, but just off by 4 points. Last night, Los Angeles Lakers, Memphis Grizzlies, in Memphis, 2 versus 7. The Grizzlies without. Let me point out before he gets his patties in the bunch. Let me point out that Memphis Grizzlies were without Ja Morant, as he only played 30 minutes. 18 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 22 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists for Desmond Bane, 31 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, Jarrett Jackson Jr., 15 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists from Dylan Brooks, 9 points from Tyus Jones, 8 from Santi Aldama. And like I said, Ja Morant, 18.6 rebounds, 2 assists. The Lakers, however, led by an unlikely candidate, Rui Hachimura, 29.6 rebounds, 1 assist, 23 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists from that man, Austin Reeves.
Boomer Sooner. Let's go.
19.7 rebounds, 4 rebounds, 7 assists. D'Angelo Russell. Anthony Davis, 22 points, 12 rebounds, 3 assists, 21 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists. LeBron James, Vanderbilt. Although he said he wanted to stop he asked for the assignment to stop Ja Morant. He needs to come off that because he was ineffective on the offensive end. Any case, it adds up. The Lakers 128 to 112 to take a 1-game series.
That pass was crazy.
Can the Lakers win this series, gentlemen?
No.
Oh yeah, don't forget.
No,
7
they
blocks.
Can.
7
they
blocks
can.
from.
They can win
Davis.
it. They can win it. Let me take that back. They can win it. They can. However, it looks like I know Josh wants to come back. He hopes to come back. I don't see him coming back by Wednesday. I don't. That was his shooting hand that he fell on. Nah.
He didn't look too good in that post game.
Yeah, post game.
He's like 10. Or he could be playing possum. We don't know.
Nah. Did you see how he fell? Did you see his hand?
He tried to catch himself, but he rolled it. Yeah.
He almost broke his fingers. Looked like his fingers went back first, and then they kind of came from underneath it, and then it was his wrist. But nah.
Yeah. That's why he can't dunk on everything. That's he can stop that. I mean, it's good for you. Stop.
Yes, he can. Yes, he can.
No, he can't.
Yes, he can. You better act like you know, bro. Don't do that. Don't be disrespectful. That young man done showed you. He will dunk on anybody. He don't care. He don't care.
What top rated defender has he dunked on?
Didn't he dunk on Gobert? I believe he dunked on Gobert. I'm just saying.
Look at that.
Austin Reeves is nasty, man.
He's showing you he's that dude. He said, "I am him." He said, "I am." After this shot, he said,
I hope
I am him. I am him. I'm telling you right now, I am him. This dude he's the truth. He's letting you know.
I hope he doesn't. I hope that doesn't come back to bite him. I hope that doesn't come back to bite us. But you know what I'm saying. And then of course you had the post game where Desmond Bain talked about they expected to let Rui Hachimura get off. That was one of the game plans. And he basically said, come back and do it again. He's like a 7-game series. Do it again the next game. Is it fair to expect that, or even to think that would be something for Hachimura to do that again? Or basically, Hachimura is good right now. 29 points.
He balled, bro. Hachimura balled. He balled. Like, he truly balled. Like, look at what he's doing. He balled.
And then to point out, Austin Reeves has been trending. He's been coming up. I watched him last year from the point where he finished the year that year before last, I think it was, when LA didn't get in, but Reeves dropped a 30-point triple-double and the win to end the season. I figured I already knew Reeves was that dude. I used to love Alex Caruso, and Reeves is better than Alex Caruso in my opinion. Taking a look at it, do you think did Austin Reeves? He's a starter. He's a starter. Has he earned whatever contract potentially he's going to get this offseason? $50 million? Is that cool? Has he earned that at this point?
Hachimura, or are you talking about Reeves?
Reeves, not Hachimura. Reeves.
I think they're going to get that productivity out of him. I think so. Because you can't bait like all this contract talk with NFL and stuff like that. People want to get paid for what they've done, not what they're going to do. So I kind of look at contracts like that when people are about to get paid. I think, like you said, he's trending up. I think they'll get their money worth out of Reeves.
Someone will. I don't know if the Lakers will.
Somebody will.
Yeah. I mean, but so do you? Of course, we don't see him as. I know he says I am him, but do we see him as him, or do we see him as a contributor?
As a piece?
Yeah. Okay, he's definitely a contributor. Yeah, he knows his lane.
He's not Jaylen Brown.
No, he's not a Jaylen Brown. He knows his lane. He's a contributor. He's a John Paxson or somebody like that.
He plays along great with great players.
Yeah.
Okay, I get that. You can't. He's one of those players that if he'll torch you. You think he won't? You let him.
He's an applied assassin.
Yeah, you let him be that person that you feel like, oh, he's not gonna get off, and now you got to worry about him and everyone else on the court because you don't let him get off.
Yeah, you let him sleep. If he that dude when y'all playing, pickup ball, and he ain't shot the ball all game. Y'all leave him wide open, and he dropped that one shot. That's the dagger.
Yeah,
because you got him. You wasn't expecting him to do that. He's that dude. He can be that dude. Can he take over a game?
I think he showed he can. He can. If you like, it's like going downhill, like the snowball gaining momentum as it goes downhill. That's in my opinion, that's Reeves. If you allow him to, he's going to. And then next, he's in all facets of the game, and now you don't know what it is to do because he's dishing, he's diming, he's saying he's just playing. And now you have a whole problem. He has a high IQ. Yeah, he has a high IQ.
Yeah. He can shoot and play defense. Key is he can get buckets, not rely on being open.
Yeah,
correct. Yeah, so that's who you are. That's what you have. And like I said, I've always said
for the players, for the Lakers to go deep into the playoffs, he's going to be the it factor, the key factor. For them to go deep, he's going to be a key factor.
Yeah, I think. Yeah,
But I think you said something key. JP said something key is with other players though. Like if LeBron isn't there or AD isn't there, I don't know. I think it's just like what we was talking about. Can they win without him? Can Chris Middleton win without Giannis? I think that's the same thing with Austin Reeves. He might be serviceable enough to get some points, but the Lakers can't win without certain players and just him. And that's the point. That point in which he hasn't got over yet, and which he may never. But he's in any case, he's a piece. I'm glad to have him in LA. And so Memphis, LA, who wins the series?
Here comes JP. Watch JP.
I mean, without Ja, the Lakers gonna win the series. I think.
They play well without Ja. Without Ja, though.
They do. Point play, very good point. But I mean, it's like it's.
Do they play well though? Do they play well or like?
They beat a Laker team before the trade deadline with Ja. Not this team. You know, I don't think. I think Hachimura.
And it's a series now. Yeah,
I don't think he's gonna go for 20 plus every game. You know, but I've always thought when he shoots his mid ranges, when I've been watching him since he got to the Lakers. I mean, I expect most of those go in. He looks comfortable shooting those. They look good. Him step back and shooting that many threes was, you know,
he had what, knocked down 25 footers.
Right. So, but I mean, and the turnaround on the baseline was crazy. I don't. That's not something I would expect.
That part, he was in his bag. He was definitely in the bag. At that point.
His are in rhythm, coming across the middle of the lane. He doesn't do too much. So, but I think the Lakers can beat the Grizzlies without Ja.
Oh, yeah.
So
how's that part, Coach Cal?
Yeah. I was talking about
if AD stays healthy. Yeah. If he could feel his arm again today. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Last night I was talking about it with some friends, and a point was brought up. If you give LeBron all this time to study another team, not just like the scouting report or, you know, what little maybe on a plane ride watching, you know, film, but if you give him time to just study a team, he can just dissect. Yeah.
And I'm here for it. I'm hoping Lakers will win if Ja can't come back. Game 3, still a dub on the road was big. AD still has to survive as well. In any case, AD has to do. It's all on AD, of course, in state. But and I still think, like he was talking about, Hachimura, you can't expect him to drop 29, 20, or even just 20 a game. But we got other people. You got Beasley. You got
Vanderbilt.
Vanderbilt. You got D'Angelo. You got other people. You still got Reeves, even though he just dropped 23. It's other people around that we can set up and that can go off. You got Schroeder. So it's plenty of other ones in which you go off. So it doesn't have to be Hachimura.
Did you just say Schroeder?
Yeah.
Schroeder is not finna go off, Trey.
Watch Schroeder go off. He probably go off next game too.
He is another AR. You're right. He's not AR. He's right. He's below AR. You're right. My fault. You're right. He's below AR. He's not that dude.
Haley says Lakers Warriors next series is going to be fire. So
we make it.
So we had talked about. You said I know Alex said Denver, his squad, Miami for Jacob. I asked you guys this question, right? Oh no, hold up before I get into that, real quick. What do y'all think about? I'm saying more of a controversial topic. Everyone heard of Mikey Williams, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Memphis recruit.
Yep.
Now in the same similar type of situation in which Ja just got out of, as he was said to be arrested, posted bond, $50,000 bond, as he was said to assault with a deadly weapon in California. Allegedly, some people came to his house and that were not invited, in which at some point they were asked to leave. As the individuals getting in the vehicle, shots rang out. The vehicle was hit. the police were called. They come out to Mikey Williams' home, and he was arrested on assault with a deadly weapon charge. Looking at this, right? Of course, it's a little bit different for us and stuff like that. Of course, being service members, and you don't necessarily have too much of that amongst service members. Not that it don't happen, because I've seen plenty in Fort Hood. But what is, when you look at that as coaches, what do you look at when you see this type of stuff and the mentality of those young players? And what would be the advice in which how would y'all handle the situation?
Handle it as like what? As him or people around him or
people around him? Just in him, if it was a player in your program, the same similar situation.
You kind of got to let it play out to see what actually happens. I know we give like judgment calls, but when stuff comes out and we don't know all sides, stuff like that, you kind of let it play out, let the dust settle. Make sure your player's all right. They're supported and stuff like that. Because it's a tough time for everybody. So you just gotta. For me, you let it play out. Make sure he's supported, he or she, and just hope for the best.
I got you, Coach Miller.
So I think, especially with military members in general, everybody comes from a different background in life, right? So I think some of these guys grew up in that environment. Some of them grew up in the suburbs. Some of them grew up all over, but you're all blended into one, right? At one point, right? You all go to boot camp. You all put on the same uniform, regardless of what branch you're in. I think when you get young players, I think it's very important to kind of mold them and try to have. That's why having veterans on a team is so important, because it helps to give them, a right way to do things, right? All that, and in his situation, I don't know his backstory. I don't know where he comes from. I don't know nothing. But what I know is, he's been big on social media for a long time. He's been in the spotlight at some point. Same for Jaws. Like, somebody has to kind of steer you away from that life, right? Like, I think everybody knows that not many good things are going to come from that life, right? Mm-hmm. So I think if you don't have the right people around you, then you're going to end up in some situations like that necessarily he has no business being in, We expect, these guys to think, oh, they got it all figured out. But at the end of the day, they're still 18, 19, 20, under 25, and you need somebody in your life that's going to say, hey, what you're doing is not right. Mm-hmm. If you continue down this path, you're going to throw this way. And so even with the young players on our team, we have talks with them, not just basketball talks, but life talks, career talks with them, because I have a major on my team, I have, some civilian contractors now that were lieutenants or captains or higher ranks. I have, staff sergeants, that talk to these younger, soldiers, airmen, and kind of tell them like, this is, they've been there, done that. And if you want to continue on this path, this is where you're going to end up. Mm-hmm. And I think when you're young, you don't think about that, even getting a bad discharge from the, a dishonorable discharge from the military, they don't see the ramifications from that, 10, 15 years down the road from that, Mm-hmm. So you have to have, those older guys. And I think definitely in the military, even as just being, a veteran and a coach now, that's my responsibility. And that part is bigger than, winning games and playing basketball. And if you can't win games and affect, young guys' lives or even anybody's life, then there's really no point to do this, which is why, I took up coaching, right? It's because having been out of the military, I wanted to be able to help, give service members an outlet, help sponsor them, for traveling, for practices, for whatever it was, just so that it wasn't a daily grind in the military or a daily whatever they're doing in life, and just to be able to try to show people like, I got out the Marine Corps and you can still be successful out the military, And when you leave the military, what do? You know, the military, once you leave, you get that D4. They don't tell you what to go do after that.
Yeah.
And so I think, you know, as a veteran and a coach, you kind of try to also setting guys up for life as well, not just basketball. And so I think that's what these guys need in their life. And if they don't have that, then it's an unfortunate situation. And ultimately, he's the one that's going to pay for that. And it's his decisions, but many other people around him failed him.
Yeah. Like, and another thing, so I kind of like resonate with it a little bit because I got in trouble, not in the military side, but on the outside side, but I was still in the military. I was like 21, 22, you know, and that's why I'm saying, you know, having that support, like Alex was saying, you know, the guys, the people around you and stuff like that. Nobody made my decision for me and all that other stuff. You know, I made the decision, but having that support, it helped me, you know, bounce back from that. And, you know, if you have guys like, you know, Mikey and like Jaw and stuff like that, it's not the mistake or, you know, they make the mistake, but that's not the most important part. It's how they bounce back. Bounce back from it, how they handle the situation. Do you learn from it? You have to acknowledge and learn from it first. And then you just what you do after, how you bounce back from that fall down, you know, that's the key part for me in that, having that support around you, having the you know, just owning up to it. If you did wrong, you did wrong. Pretty much.
It makes sense what it comes out to be, and for the most part. So that's ideal. So one of the questions which I ask, we always ask. So if y'all say y'all seen the show before, so that means y'all probably know what's about to be asked of you. So of course, everyone. Hold on. What Coach Cal said, Hardaway might as well own at this point. He will have to rely on giving character issue individuals a chance at this point. That's basically what it looks like. Everyone that comes to his program has a character issue or has had a situation. This hurts the chances of getting the others. Mikey has been living it up for Flash for years with the larger-than-life social media, following the praise. Can't fairly correlate. Yeah, it is unfortunate. He done got his share of NIL. I mean, no one's doing it like Bronny, but I mean, yeah, he's definitely been living it up. So huge social media presence over the last 4 years. Freshman of the year, Gatorade Freshman of the Year. So, but he faded for the most part, into where no one was really talking about him anymore. But like I was about to say, so we asked this question. We usually ask this to everybody for the most part that comes on. Some of my guests got away with it on Friday. I didn't get a chance to ask them, but so I asked this question to you, Coach Miller, Coach JP. Who is your Mount Rushmore of basketball? Each one of y'all give us your Mount Rushmore of basketball.
That's tough.
Yeah. Well,
it's only 4 spaces. We all know.
yeah.
Oh,
That's very tough.
I want to hear this. I'm really looking forward to hearing JP's. I want to hear Coach Miller. Go ahead, Coach Miller.
Man, so I think there's a lot of guys that could be up there, right? I mean, when I was younger, you know, I learned about Michael Jordan through Space Jam. So, I mean, you know, so Michael Jordan's always going to be up there for me. I mean, he's always going to be number one. I think. I watched a lot of film on Larry Bird, man. And I think, you know, I put him up there mainly because of what he accomplished and his skill set. I don't think people really realize how skilled he was. Maybe on paper, you know, he doesn't have the same resume. I mean, he has championships and stuff, but people don't really think about Larry Bird that way. So I have him up there just as somebody that I studied to try to kind of emulate some things from. And mainly just his competitiveness. Like, there was nobody that he backed down from.
Correct, yeah.
And so I have him up there. Obviously, growing up watching, you know, I have LeBron on mine. I think for him, it was just coming out of high school and actually living up to that hype and still 20 years in doing it. I mean, it's crazy. at the level that he's doing it as well.
Okay, one more. So you got Jordan, Bron, Larry Bird, which Larry Bird is the first, but I think that's a good one. So one more.
Oh man. I think I'm gonna go with the original Mr. Triple Double, put Oscar up there. Just
Oscar Roberts.
he did everything. And
like
so I think that would be my 4. Now I'm not saying they're the best 4 players that but
Yeah, it's your Mount Rushmore.
But hold on, Trey. Hold on, Trey. Because I like Coach Miller. I like Coach JP too. But even though he be left field sometimes, Coach JP. I like Coach Miller too. But he kind of threw me for a loop. I just need to ask him this question: why LeBron over Kobe? They both did the same thing.
Yeah.
This is the question. I'm not. Yes, they did. I mean, he might not have the scoring title, but that's the only thing LeBron has done over Kobe. That's it. At a way bigger statue, LeBron James 6'9", 260, Kobe Bryant 6'6", 230, top. But I'm not knocking you, Coach Miller. I'm just asking.
Oh yeah. No, I think honestly, for me, like I just follow
LeBron's better than Kobe.
And I'm not gonna say I think LeBron, as I was growing up, I followed LeBron more, right? There was more hype to watch LeBron's games for me. There, seeing Kobe do the things he did, scoring 81, winning multiple championships. When he won his chip after Shaq left, that kind of solidified for me that he was really that guy. But in year 20, and maybe it's because he got injured. I mean, if you look at start to finish of career, I mean, LeBron has been that guy. Towards the tail end of Kobe's career, he didn't, he wasn't putting the same numbers up. LeBron might do this till year 23, and Kobe, unfortunately had injuries. What I did, Kobe played through a lot of injuries, so, maybe if they would have had, this rest player management and workload management stuff, maybe we would have got more years out of Kobe, but on that, that's kind of where I go with LeBron.
Okay. That's fair.
JB.
Fair. Here we go. Here come JP with this. No, what's up?
It has to be in order?
No, ain't no order.
Just 4.
I'm definitely Bron and Jordan.
Okay.
Definitely. Shaq.
Okay.
Shaq.
John, one more.
I feel like because it's a Mount Rushmore, I feel like obligated. Like I can't leave him out. But Bill Russell.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I ask you guys this: who are your GOATs? Who is your GOAT?
This should be interesting. This should be real interesting.
Oh man. Just one?
Yes,
just one. It's only one greatest of all time. It's only one greatest of all time.
Who is your GOAT?
Can't be goats. It's one GOAT.
Man. Can't have a flock.
Better flock of goats.
Yeah. Depend. And let Alex go first.
I mean, mine's MJ, man. Without MJ, like I said, I don't play basketball. I don't start playing basketball. I don't coach basketball. I don't even care about basketball if it's not for MJ.
There it is.
And,
there it is.
Yeah, I think, and if you look at it, I think when MJ came in the league, the NBA did not, it wasn't as popular as it is now. MJ brought hype to the NBA with the stuff he was doing. I mean, he's 6 for 6. He ain't losing the finals.
But
the man took 2 years off to play baseball, and then came back and won 3 more.
Finish the business. Yes, that part. Finish that. So okay, so I'm glad you said that, Mill, because this guy, my constituent here, is it safe to say if Michael Jordan had not stopped playing those 2 years, is it safe to say that he probably would have won 8?
there's a chance he might have won 8. I mean, you never know, just because it could have been injuries, it could have been anything, but it was a possibility. I mean, they had the same team. I mean, what you had? I mean, Detroit was in there, Orlando came in there at the end. I mean, but realistically, those 2 years, I mean, he just allowed other people to get some rings real quick.
That part.
And what about the times when he was in the playoffs and didn't make the finals though?
I mean,
everybody say 6 for 6, but I mean, didn't Jordan he got swept? Didn't he?
Yeah, early on. Yeah, true. Yeah.
Not in the finals. He didn't get swept in he didn't lose a final. He wasn't like LeBron who lost finals and things like he didn't do that.
When LeBron got swept, who did he have on that team?
Oh, everybody runs that story, bro.
I mean, but it was true.
Everybody runs that story, bro.
That's no different for you talking about they had a bubble season. So I assume that JP's GOAT is not Jordan in state. It's not. Yeah, because you sit up and thought about it.
I grew up in a different era. Like I said, Dwayne Wade was my favorite player.
Okay.
Dwayne Wade. He's obviously not better than Jordan. He's the third best shooting guard of all time, behind Kobe. I'll give him that.
Okay.
But growing up watching LeBron, I was not a LeBron fan until he got to Miami. But even then, I was still like, no, it's Dwayne Wade's team. Still Dwayne Wade. But to do what LeBron does, in my opinion, he does everything: rebound, assists. He's not a scoring first, like MJ and doing it at the level that MJ did, but he's done it for so long at this consistency, like nobody's done that. And I'm pretty sure, I don't remember the numbers right now, but I think he's like top 10 in all 3 of those categories. He's got the scoring title, rebounding, and assists. I think he's top 10 if I remember right.
I think that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. He's very if you look at it, he's top. So even I was just looking at the other day, he's top all time playoff steals. Like he holds some accolades in state when you look at it, and it starts to bring things into question. And like Coach Cal talked about that, he basically figures it off of Jordan is his, but based off of the simple fact of he looked at how they fared against their era. And so he feels Michael Jordan, which if you look at it, some of the better players that we talk about nowadays or in Jordan's era, and you look at that, he was a dominant presence in that era. But of course, like JP was talking about, it was a point in which Jordan wasn't, and it was people that was handling him and mishandling him and manhandling him. So I guess it looks at it. Of course, you have and then Jonathan, of course, shouts out your talking about Bill Russell in your Mount Rushmore. Only player in history, back-to-back 40-point games in the finals. Rick Carlisle can't find a scheme to beat Michael Jordan. So it's a bunch, but a lot of people have Jordan as their GOAT, including
I think because Mike MJ. I think he was like, you think of the shoes, you think of just everything. He was the NBA, and he still talked about, and then you come along, and then the internet came, and LeBron. It's that era now. So now you have all the LeBron. I think later on you might have a different GOAT.
Yeah, I mean,
there's a lot of players that changed, the game. Like we didn't even say Steph.
Yeah.
I was about to bring him up.
Steph changed the entire NBA. He changed the whole generation. I see.
Without question,
kind of jack threes.
Without question, the best shooter ever. The best shooter ever.
For sure.
The best shooter ever. This dude warms up shooting a pill from the half court.
Do y'all think that Steph is pushing for the second greatest player of all time?
The reason why Steph is not going to be considered the greatest player of all time is just for one factor and one factor only. He's not a highlight reel. Steph gets all his props for his long range shots and being very, 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 very accurate at it. He's not a highlight reel though.
Man, I think he got
Oh,
some. I could think of one.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
if he gets another championship, do you think he has just entered the conversation of the greatest of all time?
No, because Magic hasn't been considered the greatest of all time, and he got what?
I think Steph. Like Coach Cal said, Coach Cal said he needs 2 or 3. Of course, if he gets 2 or 3 more, he's going to. Yeah, he gets 2 or 3 more, of course, without a doubt, because that's more championship. He pushes into the realm of Bill Russell and stuff like that.
So in other words, in your opinion, you're saying, and I'm asking Miller as well as JP, championships makes you GOATs?
No.
Okay. Thank
You
you,
know how I
JP.
feel
Boy,
about
JP,
that.
you all right with me,
I would
JP.
start a team with Steph before I started a team with Magic.
You say that again?
What'd you say that? Say
I
that
said
again.
you brought up Magic, and I would start a team with Steph before I started a team with Magic at this point.
Ooh.
I mean, look who was playing
who
with
else
Magic.
is on that team? Who else is
That
on
he
that?
had to drop the ball
I
to.
think-
Like,
I get you,
Steph
but
is pushing
that's
the
a
line
6.
for it.
Ugh.
I really think.
I mean,
he's pushing the line
LeBron
for it.
is 6'9", dishing out assists too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Being the reason for the chips are important. But does it make you GOAT status though, Cal?
No, because Robert Horry has how many?
Yeah.
Exactly.
That point, like
Exactly.
I had that
Exactly.
conversation. Like I don't like that ghost status stuff. Championships, I get it, but I just don't believe in championships. Like it's just what exactly the same.
Exactly.
Now I think winning, I do think winning though does make people talk about you. So they do start talking when you win.
When you win, okay, flexing,
I think so too.
flexing,
Yeah.
flexing,
When you win,
flexing,
but
flexing. Okay,
Definitely.
nobody talking because
I
somebody
see
took home
you.
hard way.
Yeah.
okay. I see. A good point. So let me go back and say, like, it's not that I don't think championships is needed. I think championships are needed. However, because we sit up and talk about if Steph was to win, like Coach Cal just said, if Steph won 2 or 3 more, you got and wins the NBA and with the NBA Finals, you got to start bringing this man to the conversation. Like he wasn't thought about. He's in the same era. He's rocking in the same era as KD, LeBron, and he's he's basically creeping in the shadows in this cut. Just like Coach Miller, Coach JP just talked about championships. We started off the show talking about them as first year coaches winning their conference championships. Now with the opportunity to win nationals, and then of course with Coach Miller, he has the opportunity to win the NBA championship. So true enough, from a coach standpoint, for them, it makes a difference because that is a program. That's a resume. It builds. That's a program we're talking about. The program at Herbert, the program at CMB. If you're a military, as we call the military armed forces athlete in military basketball, these is coaches that have done it, and this is what they've done. We coach about Coach Wayne, Coach Uriah, Coach Red, Coach Meyer. All these Coach Little, like all these people in which you talk about these coaches in which they've done. Coach Ron, Charlemagne, all these. I mean, Coach Bartley. So all these people in which you talk about, it makes a difference. So championships, we're not saying that championships aren't good, but it's not. I just think it's too much prowess put on championships in certain aspects, and I think it's different for a player as opposed to a coach as well.
Yeah.
Got it.
I think you still have to win a championship to be considered GOAT for sure.
I mean,
Just one, or multiples?
Oh, multiple.
And I think like you look at, we didn't even talk about KD. You just mentioned him, but he won some championships. But we're like, oh, he won them with Steph, and KD is like a generational talent, right? Like there's guys that
7 foot that drop.
I mean, and we're not talking. Nobody put him up there, and if I was starting a team, KD is somebody I want on my team.
That part, I totally agree with you.
But I, at the same time, am not gonna say he's up on my Mount Rushmore or a GOAT because, he just hasn't done enough like on his own.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, that's fair. I like it. That's fair.
I think like from now on, you're going to see like 2 superstars, 2, 3 all-stars together from now on to win though. With just the way the game is now. So I don't think there'll ever be he did it on his own, because look at Dame.
Mm.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for Dame.
It is very unfortunate for Dame.
You know what, Dame? If you get tired of your organization not winning games,
Good God.
you want to be Harold.
All right, Suge Knight. All right, Suge Knight. All right, Suge Knight.
Come to the Lake Show.
Yeah, all right, Suge Knight.
So I greatly appreciate y'all tapping in and being with us this morning. Of course, you know what I'm saying? Tomorrow, actually, we're going to have Coach Meyer, MBA commissioner, to come on and tap in and rap with us a little bit. I'm very sure he's going to speak highly of CMB for the most part, being that where he came out of. So, of course, like you said, next up for y'all, Nationals at the end of this week. I think I plan to be there. I know Bishops will be there. I plan to be there as well, so we can see what's going on, what's all the hype, what's all the hoopla and everything going forth. They face each other first round.
Yep.
Who, these two right here?
Yeah.
Game.
Ooh, I gotta see that.
Remember during the show, someone said that's the YMCA. Their region is the YMCA region.
Yeah.
And that's the region with Bragg, who was a top 3 team in the ranking. Now you have them champions in their respective divisions, in their conferences. Of course, like I said earlier, the WayMac was won by Coach Red at Joint Base. Henderson, Lamar Henderson Hall. So you know, what I'm saying, it's a lot going on. You know, what I'm saying, WayMac this week. The Pac West goes down. Coach Paris, Coach Anderson. I'm very sure going to be going at it. So there's a lot going on as they get closer and closer. 2 weeks away from the National Military Basketball Tournament. That's Nationals there. Y'all see 2 champions in front of us. Y'all seen the flex, got trophies and belts and everything. They have an opportunity to pull up and do damage. We see it as some of the top 16 teams in the country, with a little spice when you look at you add the free agents. It's going to be a whole type of vibe.
When is this first game? When does this game start? When is this?
When's y'all game start?
Friday,
2:00.
Friday.
Yeah.
What's
Friday.
the date?
On the 20. What's that? The 28th. The 28th
Of this month? The one here in San Antonio?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you know, what I'm saying, I will have to go. I'll have to leave work on Thursday and drive over to San Antonio.
Yeah, that might be the game of the day.
That's the game of the day.
That might be the game of the day. Yep.
2:00. Big. I'm there. Too easy. I'm there.
So you know what I'm saying, that's going down. If those guys travel from Nationals to CMB, would be tough out. Making sure they clear their schedule is huge. Every year, teams that are bragged about end up coming 70% full and getting put out.
That's true.
And you know what? Speaking of, that's a good point. The percentage we talking about. Do y'all know 76% of the teams that win the first game in the playoffs wins the series?
I didn't know that.
Pressure.
76%.
Pressure. Yeah, pressure. Here we go. Pressure.
So, of course, like you said, greatly appreciate y'all tapping in with us.
Hold on, Trey. Real quick, man. We got breaking news, man. Breaking news. I got to put it out, man.
Oh,
that's what I knew you was cheering about something.
Let's go, baby.
Yes.
Let's go, baby.
Coach Cap talking about Laker fans watching trivia.
Yeah, let's go, baby. It's been put out, man. My boy Jalen got the bag. Let's get it. Man, shout out to Jalen, man, for doing what he did, man.
Yeah,
Man, shout out
Texas
to
boy
him,
right there.
Yes, sir. That's my boy right there.
Does that really make a difference?
Yeah, it does. A huge difference. Okay. Ask the 49ers. Don't worry about it. No, we really appreciate y'all tuning in with us, man. We appreciate Coach Miller, Coach JP. I'm telling y'all, man, I'm in the building. I'm definitely going to be watching. I'm probably going to go live, man, here and there.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely try to talk to the coaches afterwards, man. See which coach is going to have their head hung low or who coach is going to have their head held high. Either way, it's going to be what it is. I'm definitely looking forward to a great game, a great tournament. I'm sure it's going to be a packed house. I've watched a couple of them here a few weeks ago. And yeah, it was nice, man. It was nice. Some great ballers out there. Great ballers on these military teams, man.
Yeah.
You wouldn't believe it. You wouldn't believe it.
So
Appreciate
that's our show for today. Like I said, tap in tomorrow. We have Coach Commissioner Myers coming on to see what's the latest and greatest in the NBA. Maybe we end up getting tournament director Richardson back on again just before they get ready to get things kicked off. A good opportunity to see everyone talking about Lamar Jackson, the Cowboys. Be more what they doing. What's going on to Be More, man? What's going to happen, Coach Miller? Y'all,
we're hoping that Odell there now. Maybe
he is. I know Odell. Like, come on, Lamar.
We got him, so maybe Lamar gonna stay.
It's like, come on, fam, $32 million. That's saying. Go ahead, just get this $32 million. Let's get this championship.
Yeah.
So, but that's our show for today. Of course, y'all know what it is. First Formation. You got myself, your boy Trey. You got Bishop. You got Coach Miller, Coach JP. It's a wrap. Look forward to seeing y'all tomorrow. Peace.
Appreciate it. Thanks, man.